Hello. We had to do a new.
Yeah, we didn't have an intro last week, so we figured we'd do an intro.
You should be very, very careful what you ask for.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, it's worked out really, really well.
It did. Thank you.
Very well, and huge thank you to the co-op.
Yeah, this has been great. I was up in the upper echelons of the co-op.
Ooh, upstairs.
Yeah. Apparently, you can see all sorts.
I've never been upstairs. Can you see the car park?
Yes.
That might be entertaining.
All the car crashes and everything else. So, hello and welcome again to our little broadcast. This is number 2. We're still here. Aaron Graphics will maybe move next week. It depends on the co-op. We're not going to say anything else, but it does depend on Liz rather. There's a few people involved in a project we've got up for a show, possibly next week. And we're just waiting to hear if that's going to happen or not next week. Or it'll be 2 weeks' time or so. But anyway, we'll sort it out.
We'll keep you posted, I dare say.
We'll keep you posted. Right, we're going to do a quick roundup of news and then we'll crack on with what we've got. Now, throughout the broadcast today, we're going to run a competition, and it's partly to keep you online, but you can enter at any point, and we'll explain what that is just a little bit later. But we won't interrupt it yet. But it's a photo competition, and you'll be asked to identify some things, but we'll mention that after we've done the news. So over to you with your first.
Well, starting out with Cam's good friend Cam's Campbell, his daughter Freya and Ceres were in the National Concert Band Festival, and that's made up of really good musicians from schools all over North Ayrshire, and the girls in the North Ayrshire Council Senior Concert, they got a gold award at the festival, so huge big applause for them. That's really something, and it means they'll be going on to Manchester in April for the finals. Do we have a photo of Freya there?
We do have a photo of Freya. I've got so many things on here today. Just let me find it. No, we don't. I'll post it a little bit later on.
But I mean, that's just tremendous. They put so much hard work into this, and to all the people in the orchestra. It's a good opportunity to play in an orchestra, but they've done really, really well. So well done to Freya.
There we go. There's Freya now. Sorry, I knew it was sitting somewhere, but there's Freya. So that's really cool. And thank you to Cam for letting us know. We had heard. I think we'd heard through the grapevine, but anyway, it's good that he's on the ball and sending us stuff. So
I still haven't heard her play the French horn yet.
No,
to play fiddle.
It's not something you'd want to hear in Crofters, though. I don't think, is it? It's
a beautiful instrument.
Yeah, but it's a bit loud, is it not?
It's quite tricky to play, though.
Well, everything is.
I could steampunk it.
No, that's not.
It's all right, Freya. I won't come near it. I know. You don't have to go and hide it under your bed now. I won't touch it. I promise.
Right now, we're not going to get too political about Berwick Nursery because we know there's a lot going on. But the nursery has been threatened with not operating. So we had an email from Jenny Duncan from Berwick Primary. And there is a meeting this Wednesday, the 29th, at 7:30 in the hall, and you're all welcome, apparently, if you can all fit. You're all welcome in the hall to put forward any solutions or any ideas you've got on that.
So that's on Wednesday, 7:30 in the hall.
7:30.
Yeah, it'd be really good. The more people they have, it'd be really good because, I mean, this is a big subject. I mean, nursery education is so important. And I think there's quite a lot of children at
there's always hundreds
in the
of kids.
Broadwick one.
Place is overrun with kids.
Well, that's good for the island as well. We want a young community.
If you look at it, either the banner or whatever news source you've got for this week, everything's kid related. Moving on. We have actually a guest coming in, sitting over there.
He's on the bench.
He's on the bench, yes. He's on my mum and dad's bench, associated with the Aaron Youth Foundation. And they, this week, had dinner with some of the kids.
I wasn't invited.
I don't know how it was done, but yeah, we don't know.
It looked really, really good.
But there were some kids there, 7 of them from Aaron Youth Foundation. And for those of you who don't know what Aaron Youth Foundation is, it's really something set up to get the kids involved in activities out of school. That's basically what it does. But
they've won a lot of awards as well.
Yeah.
They've
done lots of things. They take kids away for weekends and nights and all sorts of things, especially in the holidays. But there's a core group of people that get involved in different courses, whether it's cooking or whatever. And the cooking lot went down to the Ochrani 1869 restaurant. and cooked a 3-course meal. And
I did see photographs. There were photographs that went up, and it looked delicious.
That I didn't do any photographs because I thought you'd have enough food here. I have to say, I have never made banana cake before, and I can prove that that's my banana cake, and it's actually quite epic, even though I say so myself.
I thought you might want to be able to, I don't know if you can see that, but I wanted you to be able to see what it looked like inside, so I had to take the top part off. I kind of edited the recipe
a little bit.
It's the ginger that pulled me in. I like the ginger in it, yeah.
Okay.
I still don't have WD-40 for this seat.
Oh, right.
Squeaking.
You've got a squeaky seat. It wasn't done on purpose, obviously. Just loading some of your comments, and if you are saying hello, please do so. If you've got any questions to ask our guest later, then Liz is already saying hello from the co-op, so hello, Liz.
Oh, hi, Liz. Thank you for the Charlie the Caterpillar cake.
Yes, that's one of the co-ops. I haven't actually seen it in the co-op, but I think she just brought it out for me. And we've got, as I say, we've got something else related to the co-op. Liz is so on board with what we're doing that we're very grateful for her to supply what she's doing. One thing I picked up on Facebook, and it's actually also in the banner, was this Beach Buddies thing. I was quite impressed with this. This is a group of people. And Beach Buddies, as you pointed out before we went on, they've got groups all the way around Scotland, all the way around the country.
Yeah, it started in the Isle of Man. It's just grown. It's a great idea. I mean, there's always been beach cleans on the island. I know I was still am part of White and Bay Improvements, and we used to organise people to go down and muck in to help clear the beaches up. But this is a much bigger movement, and right across the UK, the Beach Buddies groups are growing, which is really, really good. But it's incredible the amount of litter they're pulling.
Well, they were down at Black Waterfoot Beach and got that off the beach, which is quite a pile. In fact, if I'd known, I'd have quite liked that bit of pipe at the back there, but it doesn't matter. I've got a use for a bit of pipe. But anyway,
no, you could always put a shout out. Has anyone got a piece of pipe?
I was going to make it into a French horn and play it, but no. So that's an awesome thing, and I think you can just, I don't know whether you have to have a certain qualification to join or anything. Do you have to have a degree in?
No, I think in fact there's a Facebook page, Beach Buddies Arden, and if you look it up, it'll tell you the time and the place of the next beach thing, and it doesn't have to be your village. It's right across. You can just join up, and I think it's a lot of fun because there's kids and dogs, and you can make it a day out on the beach as well. While you're helping, it's all very positive.
Yeah, no, just another thing to get the kids involved with. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything's kid related, but that should be.
Well, adults too. It gets them out.
Yeah, but we need to get the kids moving. Look at, I'm not going to give any examples here, but you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Anyway, so we've got this thing we asked during the week. If you have any photographs that make you. If you make you laugh or smile or something. And we did get sent quite a few in. Well, I say quite a few. There's about 8 or 9 here. So I want you to watch this, and we'll be back with more nonsense in a second. Yeah, I was going to bring Dusty in today, but Dusty's got a sore paw. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's fine, and then he's limping a little bit. So I think he's just sprained it, head banging.
I think he's faking it, actually. He just wants to lie in the couch.
He runs around the floor here and head bangs it, which isn't great on a wood floor like this. But anyway, we've got this competition that I'm going to sort of let you have a look at. This is something we thought of today. Because we've got a guest coming in that's going to offer a prize, and we'll show you what that prize is a bit later on. But the competition is a bit unusual. I only thought about it late last night.
It stumped me.
What it is, I've been round and I've got this thing about doors on not Diana doors, but just physical doors, and I've always wanted to make a book about. Doors, because there's so many different doors on our, and just all the different kinds of house bills that we've had over over the decades and all the business doors and everything else. And it sounds really bizarre, but what I'd like you to do is get a piece of paper and a pen and write down the numbers 1 to 14. Don't answer if you know what these doors are now. Leave it till at the end of the show. If you've got them all, post it as a message. And if you post it as a message and you get them all right, then you will win the prize that we've got for you. So don't post them now.
Prize.
Don't message us. Don't send it through Messenger. We're not going to read it. We're too busy. But post it as a message on this video, and anyone that gets it right will win. The first person will win the prize that we've got. So the first set of doors I'm going to show you in a second. But there's one other bit of news I wanted to give you, and I don't really berate new businesses. I can't. I mean, I'm a graphic designer and printer. I don't berate new businesses opening up. But we've been given this new product by a company called Aaron Ageless. And it's...
Aaron Ageless?
Ageless. And they're doing this... they're doing this rejuvenating cream, this skincare product that's supposed to take away all your wrinkles and rejuvenate you.
Oh, they come out so often,
I've
tried them all.
It's just one of those, I have to say, and we've got a sample here. There you go, you can try some of that.
There's not going to be enough in that.
Well, they actually gave me that one as well.
Oh, it's a bigger one. All right.
So while you put a bit of that on, I will put the photos on
nice.
that we've got. I'm going to mute you while you faff around with that. So these are the first doors I want you to identify. Door 1 and door 2. I've taken all these pictures of doors this morning. Don't drop that cream on the floor. You're putting enough on. God, you've got loads of it on. So that's door 1 and door 2. And I'm going to show you door 3 and door 4. So if you write these down, all in Brodick. There's door 3 and door 4. So just take a look at that and see if you can identify those. And we're going to go back and carry on what we're doing. So, oh my God, that's really worked. This cream, I'll have to show you, this cream has worked so well. I mean, look at how it's rejuvenated. Look at that. That is just awesome. It's scary as well. I'm glad you didn't put any more on. You'd end up about 3 inches tall. Okay, so we had a little bit of a joke. And who is this? Would you like to introduce yourself? Your name? Yeah, that's what you're called. What are you called? Charlotte Lambie. For those of you who know Angus, anyone that's had their car pulled out of a ditch, this is Angus's granddaughter, Charlotte. And we've invited Charlotte in because she's got a fantastic sense of humour. But she's also here to introduce some photos taken by her mother, Natalie, who does things like this. And so we thought, we'll just introduce her with a little bit of a joke. So you were up for a little bit of a joke, weren't you? Right, we're going to get Charlotte to come around the back of me. You can sit in your chair. You've got some new headphones to use, which you can take away with you.
Thank you.
And we're going to show... Assie is saying, Heather, what wrinkles are you trying to erase? You haven't got any. Not anymore. Look at that. I mean, anyway. So Natalie, I think many people on Aaron will know Natalie, and she is here, but she's represented by her daughter for a variety of reasons. So can you hear all right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all plugged in, right? Okay. Let me put Heather's microphone back on. So Natalie does a lot of wedding photographs, doesn't she? She just takes a lot of wedding photos.
Yep.
Now you can use. I'll just get rid of Asia's comment. Sorry. If I can, there we go. So you know these photos. Now can you see this iPad, all right? Yeah. So
yeah.
Now that's one of your mum's wedding photos. How many weddings does she do every year? Do you know?
No.
No. About she's signaling about 4. Well, she does about four weddings a year, and. She likes doing those, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she likes doing wedding photos. And she does all sorts of things with animals as well. What's this one?
That's Jim and a horse.
Oh, okay. Where's that horse? Come on, you're supposed to have your answers all revised. You're supposed to be clicking these out. No. You gave me these photos. So she does all these wedding photographs, and she also does family portraits, doesn't she? And that's you like that one for some reason, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some lovely ones, really nice.
That's you and your sister. What's your sister's name?
Elise Lambie.
Right. Okay. And you get dressed up quite a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, the next photograph we've got is actually one that I had to crop in to fit the screen for the video, but I hadn't realised that it was you because you've got so much going on, and that's this one, this Day of the Dead, and that's an awesome photograph, isn't it?
Yeah.
I really like that one. And do you know all about the Day of the Dead? Do you?
Skeletons.
Yeah, all skeletons and scary things, and it was made very popular by a James Bond film. Did you see that?
Do you like dressing up, though? Do you like doing the whole photo shoot thing and being a model?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you even got dressed up to come here.
I know. Stunning.
Just
Lovely.
making us feel really sort of underdressed. Underdressed, I said. And Natalie's really keen on, I think, prioritising maybe the portraits and the family shoots and the wedding photography and that sort of thing. And you've had stuff up in here in the shop, but that one is particularly stunning one. So lots of deer, isn't there? Lots of animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, including yourself. Yeah, she takes lots of animals. Highland cattle.
Do you take photographs as well? Do you like taking photographs, Charlotte?
On my phone, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Natalie's website, isn't it? Your mum's website. She's got that. And what else have I got here? Oh, she's been doing some night photography as well. What's that? What's that bit there? The bit. Do you know what that is?
No.
That's the Milky Way. I think that's the Milky Way in that shot. Yeah. She's nodding. Yeah, I think it is the Milky Way. So you need a particular camera lens, and you need to sit out in Brodick Castle at night when it's shut. When you shouldn't be up there. Taking photographs. So we'll get her done for trespassing in a minute. And that's another one of a Highland cow, isn't it?
Yep.
So that's really good. So your mum takes all these photographs. She's got her own website.
Yeah.
And she's coming and she does all these photo shoots with all sorts of people, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Now I noticed, and I'm going to have to speak to her directly now because I noticed you're actually getting quite full for some shots at certain points of February as well, aren't you? So it's a great thing. I mean, I don't know if I ever did too much of that with Carter. I think we did one photo session when he was tiny, but it's not hugely expensive to get Natalie around. And just, do you get people?
It's a really nice thing to have.
Do you get people around at your house to take photographs, or do you take them at their house, or do you take them somewhere else? All sorts of things. So you can sort of set the thing up wherever you're comfortable with, and Natalie will come around and do family shoots and everything else. And I think it's really important. The photos I have with my parents I cherish a lot because I obviously don't have my parents here anymore, and they're all all the old style, just taken at home and. But we never had studio photographs taken. It's one thing I wish I'd done. Because
do you do the baby ones? I always think they look so cute. Some of the baby ones.
Yeah, but all babies look the same.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they look like Donald Trump.
Target us on. No.
Most babies look.
They don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Oh, did you not look like Donald Trump? No.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm told off you. I'll just keep drinking my coffee then. Have you finished your tea?
No.
Have you registered your tea on your system?
Yeah.
Because you have, what is it you have?
Type 1 diabetes.
Type 1 diabetes. So I'm always really impressed when I see you come in here and you have to check everything up, don't you? And register it all and log it all and scan your arm and do all that kind of thing. And it's just one of those things that you think, why kids, given that horrible burden to start their lives off with, but you just take it, you just get on with it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Shall I not ask you a question when you've got a mouthful of tea? Is that the best thing?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I won't ask you any more then. Right. But you've volunteered to read out the ferry news this week.
Yeah.
So just a minute. We've got a video to introduce the ferry news. Where's the ferry? Right, come on then, let's hear your ferry news.
The fairway is currently running to its timetable now. That we have the Caledonian Isles back in service. The weather is a bit mixed this week, but we are hoping there is no cancellations.
Indeed. Thank you very much. What are you doing? You're chucking that out?
Yeah.
Well, throw it over there somewhere, for goodness sake. Have you just broken something?
Yeah.
Honestly, first and last kid we have on. I'm telling you. Elizabeth Wilkinson, hello. That's disgraceful behaviour. Sort her out, mother, please.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for doing our CalMac news. There is an ongoing situation with CalMac. I thought they'd sorted it out, but apparently the lift isn't working still. We're just not going to go there.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
We're just going to give up with that one, I think. But anyway, now you are not our main guest. Well, you are. Well, no, that's not fair, is it? No.
She's our first guest.
I know. She's our first guest.
And we thank you very much for coming on.
We do. I'll probably die for that comment later.
Yes, you will. And for dressing for the occasion
I know,
too. You
it's
look
fantastic.
lovely. Absolutely
Right.
lovely.
Now I'm going to mute
Modelling
your microphone.
career possibly, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stick you off while you change, and we're going to introduce Steve Agnew, who is involved in guitars in a big way, both on and off the island. So while we get Steve on, I will show you photos number 4 and 5. I've got to keep track of which ones I'm at. So we're carrying on with the Doors thing. So I'll just mute Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you very much, Charlotte.
I'll unplug those for you later. Thank you. Doors 4 and 5. 5 and 6. Those are doors 5 and 6, if you want to identify those. And obviously, I'll show these a bit later on as well, just at the end of the show. I'll go through the whole lot. So write those ones down, 5 and 6. And here's in Brodick, doors 7 and 8. They're all in Brodick. Very, very subtle manoeuvres by our guest coming in as I'm waffling on about photos. And we'll do 9 and 10 as well, so that I know where I am later on. So there's doors 9 and 10. Excuse my reflection in those. I think Dusty's in that one as well. So that's doors 9 and 10. And I'm going to introduce now to you Steve Agnew. Hello.
Hi there.
Really pleased you could come in. That's really good.
Thank you. Yes, Sunday, my day off, my day of rest.
I know. Well, yeah. Lazy morning. Morning.
Yes.
We used to get days off, didn't we? Not anymore. Working on Sunday.
I know.
Does this work?
No, it's too much fun. It's too much fun.
Okay.
And we get people. I've been dying to ask you lots all about pedal boards and all sorts of things.
Okay.
But first of all, I mean, you're almost a local. You've been here for how many years?
Well, 4 years. Just come October there, we've been on the island, staying in Brodick. Yeah. My wife works for the NHS. She'd been commuting over for a couple of years every day, and she finally said, "Do you want to move to Arran?" Which I protested for about a year, but then it turns out she was right. It was a good idea.
So is it just the idea of the ferry for gigs and things?
Well, I grew up in Ardrossan, and Arran was where I got dragged every summer. I got soaked a lot of the time. So yeah, and I came over here and worked when I was about 18 up in Lochranza. And a couple of years when you're 18 in Lochranza was enough. That, I had to go and
God, I spent
spread
20
my
years.
wings.
I spent 20 years in Lochranza.
Oh, right.
That's why I'm bald. Yeah, that was fun.
So guitars, I mean, obviously you've always been passionate about guitars, yeah?
Yeah, well, ever since I've been a young boy, that's been, I've would win all the awards at the school and things through I always kind of taught people, and people would come and ask me, and the same thing happened when I went to college and stuff. So it's always been a huge passion, a huge part of my life. So much so this year, I've got my first hobby ever. I never thought I've ever had a hobby before, because my life has just been music, guitar, and then something connected to that.
Can I ask what the hobby is?
Running.
Running?
I've decided to become fit.
Oh,
I'm
it's
getting
so...
a bit old now, so I thought...
Oh my God, he's part of the Aaron scene now, isn't he?
It's so addictive. It's so addictive, though.
It was amazing. I came back from a tour in China a few months ago, or during the summer, and I was running along the beach in the morning, and I just thought, this is wonderful. You know?
I used to run years ago. I did a lot of running, did marathons, the whole thing. My knees are shot now. But
Right. Okay.
but
yeah,
it's
keep hearing that, yeah.
yeah.
I run up
Just-
and down those stairs quite a bit. That's about me.
Well, you walk a lot and run after dusk.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I suppose
Mhm.
that counts. Yeah.
But you're also, I mean, you're heavily involved in Aaron Youth Foundation as well.
Yeah, well, my playing, I do a lot of performing and recording and things, but a huge part of my, where I make a lot of my money is teaching and education. So I work as a music examiner, and I've been a guitar teacher for about the past, 15 years or so professionally. And when we moved here about 4 years ago, before I was even here, while my house was getting moved, I was sitting in Hong Kong having a beer, and my phone went. And there was an old man on the other side of the phone asking if I was giving guitar lessons on Aaron.
Oh.
And I hadn't even stepped foot on Aaron at that point then. But he wasn't wanting lessons for himself. He was actually wanting me to get involved with the Youth Foundation. And I'll not mention his name because you'll probably find it really embarrassing, but he donates money. And it's so the kids get the chance to have some professional guitar lessons or professional music lessons, but they don't have to pay for it because it's also been quite expensive. And when I was learning, I'm a completely self-taught musician, which I'm quite proud of, but we never had money for lessons, so it's a really nice thing to kind of give back.
I know, it's really important. People don't realise the value of music in schools.
And because I conduct music exams, we can offer them like accredited, like off-call examinations. So if you want to go to university and be a musician, or if you just want to, it all helps with your university entry anyway. So we can give them that option, and yeah, it's just a great space. Some of the lads go in and have a little band rehearsal and stuff. We've just had a little bit of investment, so we've got some new guitars and we've got some recording equipment. So hopefully, once I'm travelling a lot, but hopefully we can set up a little recording session and maybe get them making CDs and things and teach them how to make up drum sets and things like that.
That sounds great.
What's a CD?
Can adults get involved?
Well, if anybody's got any skills or anything or could help, I'm sure Graham would like to hear from you at the AYF, you know.
No, it's great. I've actually, I went in with, it was Alistair Paul and I went in with fiddles and harps a while back, and it's just such a fantastic setup for the kids. It's great.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
It's kind of really unique because it's an island, because it's a kind of smaller community and stuff, you know. So the kids have been really, really great to work with, and got some really talented pupils as well. You know, some people that really kind of bought into it and practice a lot, and you think they could maybe make a career.
I think it's good too. I mean, there's a lot of traditional music.
Yeah.
It's always been traditional music in the island, which is great. But it's nice to see rock, you know.
Well, I get the exam company I work for is called Rock School, which is they've changed that now to RSL, which sounds more like a bank or a credit card. But it's basically any contemporary music. It can be. I teach like jazz. I do teach rock as well. I'm a huge rock fan, but like jazz, we can teach country music. You know, basically everything apart from strict classical, maybe. But even then, I can teach a bit of classical.
Yeah, well, if you've got the basics, you can play.
Yeah. But all contemporary music, that's the kind of.
But from the kids' point of view, this is good because it's, you know, a lot of them do think, traditional, I don't want to do traditional. Not all of them, but, you know, it's cool getting an electric guitar, and that's really...
You can go and play Metallica or Guns N' Roses and still get the same accredited qualification and learn all the same skills.
They've got all the stuff in the school. I mean, when we were at school, in our era, you know, you went into a music room and it was just another classroom, wasn't it? And there was an old decrepit piano in one corner.
Recorder, piano, or voice
and
for the three
and a
choices.
couple of recorders in the teacher's drawer. And, you know, you've obviously seen the stuff they've got at the high school here. And if you're not aware of what they've got in the high school, it's phenomenal, the range of...
fantastic.
I mean, they've got a huge room. They've got everything from timpani drums right down to a range of keyboards that I play, and all the types of guitars and... every type of... I mean, I was amazed there was a music thing that James O'Neill did before he left the island, and a quarter of the school, or something like a quarter or half of the school were involved, and these two lads walked on each holding a bassoon, you know, and you just hear about these. You don't even think about these instruments now, but I mean, here they were, you know, they were learning to play the bassoon, which was...
Are all the schools across North Ayrshire, are they as well kitted out as Arden? I mean, Arden seems to be, the music department seems to be really strong.
I couldn't tell you. I've only got experience of a Drawson, really. But just when I was a pupil, which is a long time ago now.
Yeah,
So
they didn't have a lot on offer. But you've started something which is a fantastic idea, an online course.
Yeah, well, when I moved to Arran, I still had a lot of students on the mainland. And when I travel as an examiner, like last year I spent about 24 weeks outside the country as well. So I have to kind of keep up with my teaching. So I teach a lot through Skype. And as an extension to that, obviously I'm teaching the same stuff again and again with beginners. So I thought I'll compile that all into my kind of course that I teach and record it all and put it online for people to access.
It's a fabulous idea.
So I found, I was looking for some advice and remembered I'd played a bit of a jazz gig in Lamlash and there was a cameraman there. So I went and contacted him for some advice on the camera because I knew nothing about it. And it was Chris Atkins.
He's superb.
He knows everything
he's
about
so helpful
cameras.
too, you know.
Yeah, so he's like, I'll record it for you, I'll come and help it. And he'd done all the editing and stuff, which I'd probably still be there now, you know. So we've got a complete beginner's course as well. So it starts you from a total beginner and takes you to around grade 3 level. So you could play chords, you could play songs in different keys, you can improvise solos, you can read a bit of music, have some ear training and stuff. And all that's on the course, and we've made it really, really cheap. I can't even remember the price now. I think it's like £12 a month or something. That's
really reasonable. I've forgotten exactly,
really
but I looked at it and thought, that's fantastic.
Now, if you look at the Musicians Union, for a 1 hour lesson, you're talking maybe £35, you know, if you're in a bigger city, even more. Try not to charge that amount, but really cheap. Again, the thing being to make it really accessible.
But it also means that, a lot of people, we were talking about this earlier, get nervous when someone's teaching them face to face. So they can go over it as many times as they like. They can do it in their own space. There's nobody looking over their shoulder. I think it's a great idea. It's a really, really good idea to give confidence.
And the way it's set up, because I've done it for so many years, only progress on to the second lesson once you've done the first lesson. All the answers should be in there, either in the written material, the audio we provide, or the video, And even then, beyond that, if you're still stuck, you can contact me and we can arrange, and I can either give you a one-to-one Skype lesson or I could make a video lesson for you.
At the end of the day, it's down to practice.
It's always practice. I still have to practice.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't just happen.
Never.
But I think it's a great idea. And I've spoken to Chris and Jan about it. They were filming it, and they said it's just really well done.
They were super helpful. They were great. Both of them. Aye.
I've flashed your contact details up. If you've got any questions you want to ask Steve now, please do so. We'll pop them up. But. Yeah, what else? What else do we need?
We have some of his cool wee cards.
Oh yeah, he's yeah.
See that? Yeah. People won't see that online. I don't know. I like that. G minor. That's mine. It's my favourite key.
It's he's got his chords for different. They're all guitar chords, isn't they? So you stick them on different business cards. It's quite an interesting idea. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do his business cards, unfortunately, but then that's just the way it is.
Different. Can I
Yeah,
ask?
you can.
Please.
Go on.
Pedals. I've seen photographs of your pedal board. It's about 3 times the length of mine.
I was trying to keep this show quite short this week.
I know,
if you're going to go into pedals.
Just a brief conversation about pedals.
Sure.
In layman's terms.
Right.
Do you take them all with you every time, or do you select before a gig what you're going to take? Because you can't possibly use them. I don't believe you use them all. Or do you use them all at a gig?
I've got 3 pedal boards. I've got a huge one that basically does everything, and it's all the flavours of the month that I'm using, and it is kind of all interchangeable. I've got a small one just for throwing over my shoulder that'll cover all the basics. Then I've got another huge one in the house that I'll use for experimenting and swapping stuff in it. I've got a problem with it. I'm selling some pedals because I'm at the point where I've got triplicates of the same pedals.
So can we just for those who don't know what a pedal does to a guitar, and it's the same with your harp. You can get a saxophone coming out of a guitar.
You can do anything now.
With a pedal, you can get all this kind of
synthesizer. You can wire.
And because you're playing an instrument that's not known to be what you're trying to do with a pedal, then you get some very interesting effects come out of it.
You can do.
And in my era when I'm playing the keyboard, you can do that and you can get some very strange noises coming out that you can't get out of the original instrument.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, the way I use them is a lot more traditional, so it looks quite complicated, but I'll have like my guitar amplifier set up for like a main sound, so it's kind of on very loud and slightly distorted, and I'll just use the pedals to kind of push the amp slightly more, so it's varying degrees the same sound. So I don't use anything crazy like synthesizer. I do have a few. But,
yeah, it's addictive. Once you start, it starts with, I was given a wah-wah pedal for the harp, Crybaby, and that was it. That was just the start, because I'd never thought in putting a pedal onto, and it was a Clarsac. It wasn't an electro harp at that point.
Okay.
So I plugged it in, and that was the start. It's like, ooh, really nice. Some really interesting sounds.
I can lend you some pedals then if you want to experiment and stuff.
like,
tons of things.
If I
go away for a month, I'll give you a pedal.
Pedal mania with you two, I think, isn't it?
It's just...
And Mark Harwood, who plays with you at the Cosmic String, he's into his gadgets too. Isn't he?
Yeah, he's got about 4 different phasers. It's just, they're incredible. They're all different. They are. Yeah. I have to admit that, they're all different. Because I can't say, how many do you need? I've just got one it's a wee orange one. I call it the orange is bright, the future's orange. You're not allowed to say that as advertising, sorry.
I think that's long gone, that one. I think that's out of copyright.
All right.
I think things go out of copyright after 70 years, and I think you've just hit the deadline there, so I think you're okay.
That's obviously an extended conversation I would love to have at some point. That would be great. Yes. But definitely check out the online course, because I had a quick wee look at it, and if I had time in my life, which unfortunately I don't at the moment, but maybe in the future I would love to learn a wee bit more guitar.
We put up some free clips on like Facebook, so my Steve Agnew music page on Facebook and Instagram. We'll put up free clips there, and we'll do it. And I keep meaning I've just never got the time, but putting up some more free content on YouTube and stuff. Yeah. It's just never enough time.
Cool.
Good.
Cool.
Thank you.
Good. Well, thanks for coming in, Steve. It's been great. We have. I've got another couple of doors to show. Hang on a minute. I'll just get these done now. That was door 11 and 12. And we also have 13 and 14. So I'm going to go through these again for you, but just before we go, we'll show you what you can win now that we can identify the fact that we have had another guest in. Oh, Steve, you've changed again. You've been using that cream.
You've been using that cream.
We have one of Natalie's lovely pictures here of a couple of fighting stags. She very kindly gave that in, coming with this as a prize. So cunningly hidden now behind a box of caterpillar cake.
I'll move the caterpillar.
And we never even had any cake.
We're gonna.
Do you want some cake?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I think we'll have to do the ingredients and check that she can have it. No, as long as you register it, you're fine. Okay, so I'll just run through these pictures again. That was 1 and 2, and you can obviously pause and go back for all these. 3 and 4. Some of these businesses may or may not be active still. That was 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and there's 14, so there's 13 and there's 14. So if you can identify all those doors, send us them on a list on this comment page. Make sure you get them all right, because other people will see your answers. Make sure you get them all right if you can, and the first person that comments with all the correct answers will win that lovely.
And it comes with the frame.
Yes.
Lovely frame.
Yep.
Frame print.
Yep. Did you frame that?
No.
Well, you better get some business sorted out, you two. Did you want to show your guitar off?
I like that one.
Seeing Steve was here.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, oops. Sorry, wrecking the place now.
Let's bring this out. This is one of Heather's creations. Watch your headphones. That it's a bit of a weight.
Steampunk.
A steampunk guitar.
I don't think you'd get very far in a gig with this. It weighs too much.
I don't know where you'd plug one of your many pedals in there either.
Well, you could. No, you could. You could plug it in.
So that's us this week. If you want to see Heather's steampunk guitar, it's down at her studio when she's open. Are you open? Well, you're not open now, I know, but you're open.
No, I'm
pretty
not open
much.
Now, but I'm open most of the week.
Pretty much down in Whiting Bay. That's us for this week. Now we do have a really special show coming, and when we do it, I don't think we'll be here. We'll be in another venue for it, because it's going to be quite a lot of fun. We've got a few people involved. We're just waiting to hear back from our friend Liz at the Co-op, and then we've got another show booked as well with somebody the week after. We may have to switch those two around, but we'll see how we go.
Don't think we can do that, no?
No, we maybe can't, but we'll sort it out.
Work something
We'll possibly also put a poll on the Facebook page this week. We've got some ideas about different things we might be able to do, especially coming up to the spring, for different types of subject matter and show, and see what you'd like us to do. Because obviously we've got a huge amount of resources available on Aaron, with different types of people and different types of careers and jobs and what they do in their spare time. So I think we'll put it to you as to what you fancy seeing as well, not rather than just us bringing people on. So there might be some fun things coming up, and we want to try and diversify it into almost like into game show type territory on some occasions. We might be able to get something, shall we say, something cooking around that.
Can we cut the cake now?
Yeah, we can cut the cake now. We're going to cut cake. Thank you very much for joining us. We have to say hello to Yvonne, who messaged earlier about the Youth Foundation's meal at the Ochrani. She said it was a brilliant meal. And Mark's back online, just to say fine show. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you.
And we appreciate the following. We wanted to try and cut it a bit shorter this week. We've managed it. We're only 41 minutes.
Oh, that's all right.
That's all right. Yeah. Considering you talked about pedals for about 40 of those minutes.
No. I can't
so
see the clock from here. He's got it over the other side. I can't actually see.
Yeah, I've got the clock. I'm in charge of the
I've got the cake.
The thing here.
And the knife.
So thank you very much for joining us, and we shall see you somewhere next week. It might not be here. It might be somewhere else due to necessity.
But we'll still be on the same page on Facebook.
Yes,
so
we
don't
will.
panic. You'll find us there.
And do you want to say cheerio?
Yeah.
You want to say cheerio to your teacher or something? I don't know. No, you don't want to say cheerio to you. Sorry, Mrs. Watts. Okay, there you go. She's waving to her mum.
Big thank you to Charlotte, and a big thank you to Steve for coming on.
To both of you. Thank you very much.
We're going to make sure they get some of this cake too. I'm not going to eat it all.
No, I'm taking some of mine home. My dog likes it. Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye now.